Lounge, you know how we do. And in the lounge space today, we have none other than Geneva in the lounge space. What's up, yo?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks so much for having me.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, yo, the vibes are real, so you know we had to get you on.
Oh, thank you so much for underground artists. Like it's like always just like so nice when you do get that little, that tap to come on and say what's up because
Oh, for real.
it's
Oh, for
crazy
real.
out there, as you know.
Oh, yeah. I think we know that. I think we definitely know that. But
Yeah.
it's easy to promote dope shit. Okay,
Oh, I appreciate that.
for sure, for sure. Now we always start off the show by asking how you were introduced to music.
So funny because I know a lot of artists are like, oh, my parents were musical and like this and that. I did not come from that family. Like my parents are very like cool in their own right, but they were just
Mhm.
not like music, like they're not hardcore music people. So I think it was obvious pretty early on that I gravitated toward this like performance sort of stuff. I joined the Hamilton Children's Choir when I was like 8 years old.
Oh, you rep in H Town?
Yeah, yeah, I actually grew up
Okay,
there. Yeah, that's
okay.
my
Shout out
hometown.
Hamilton. Word
So
up.
that's why I maybe don't have as much of the stush Toronto vibe because I'm from like
Okay, you said it. Okay, I didn't say. First of all, she said
I
stush. Okay.
I love it here, but like you know what I'm talking about. So like my dad used to listen to 102.9
Ah,
K Light Up, and it was today's hits and yesterday's classics. So I was growing up on like Whitney and Sade and like I just maybe that's what gave me like the slow jam addiction, but I'm like it's very hard to get me out of my mid-tempo pocket sometimes because I just really gravitate to those like the chill, tempo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was it that first did it for you? Or, if I'm going to put it even better, who was it that kind of crystallized it for you? It made you say, you know what? This is my jam. And not only is this my jam, this is about to be my life.
Oh, damn. I mean, it's so funny because it was like it's been a very like interesting, I hate to use the word journey. It's such a cliche word, but I guess like funny enough, like I think what sparked it in terms of like actually recording, and this is gonna A date me and B show what a nerd I am. But I don't know if you remember SoulSeek, like the peer-to-peer file sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going back to SoulSeek. So I was like nerding out in those underground hip hop chat rooms, and like funny enough, I still am friends with some of the people I met like to this
Oh, for
day
real? Okay.
back
Okay.
in those chat rooms. But I connected with do you know like the Milled Pavement Camp? They're like it's like underground hip hop. They're like based in like Portland, Maine.
Okay. Okay.
Somehow I crossed paths with a bunch of these rappers that were doing stuff, and it's so funny because I think you can still probably find the song. The very first track I recorded was for like this artist Nomar Slevik, and it was like for like a collab. So I was actually writing raps when I first started out.
Okay.
So even though I had
Spitting
this like
bars.
history, yeah, I mean, that song, people were like, is this spoken word? Like, what is this? Like, please don't look it up. But yeah, so that was how I got my start. And that's when I was sort of just like, oh, this is like a thing you can actually do. And like I booked a recording session in Toronto and like, took the go bus and like did my like little session or whatever. Thank God it was safe. You know what I mean? Looking back, I'm like, I didn't even know this person. So um you can go record at their
Yo,
house. You're
on the
20.
real though, on the
Yeah.
real though, just what you said just there, right there, I know for a fact enough folks can get down with the fact that you had to hop on the go to get to the studio. Is that a sentiment that is felt like all over, or what?
I mean, there was probably
How many
studios in
people can say
Hamilton.
that, right?
Well, there's probably studios in Hamilton in retrospect, but like I'm pretty sure did I even pay this guy? Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like,
Free session yet? Booyah.
yeah, right. Like I'll take that. And then I remember the pizza guy gave me free pizza in the neighborhood. I
Oh,
mean, when you're 20,
yo,
it's like, yeah, I
forgiveness
remember that.
lessons.
Funny.
There you go.
Yeah. It works out when you're 20, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so like having those really early that early encouragement is like invaluable. So like I very much try to like when I encounter artists that are just, starting out, it's like I'm more than happy to share like what I've learned. Cause I mean, I wish I had more of a guidebook,
Right.
back then.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you speak again. You speak for a lot of artists. It's not like there was a guidebook, right?
There still really isn't. I
I
mean,
mean, we are in Canada, right? Can I get a witness? Okay.
oh my gosh, and you're in Winnipeg. So
Yeah.
Winnipeg is like, yeah, even I feel like it's very niche, right? Like,
It's no secret that the Canadian music industry is very small.
100%.
We have the square footage of this country, but it's actually, it's really small, and it's that's why it's so easy to stay up on what's going on everywhere. You know what I mean? As long as you've got like brethren in every market, you always know what's
Kinda
happening,
you're tapped in. I just
right?
kind of wonder though, because there's also so many like bedroom artists that will claim, the closest
Yeah.
city, and then like who was it? I stumbled across one the other day, and I'm like, who is this artist? And she has like thousands of streams and stuff, and it's like they might have
Yeah.
some like a major label deal because
Hmm.
their dad knows someone or mom
Yep.
knows, you know what I mean? Like there's these
Yeah.
little like kind of things that pop up, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So you never really had to play like those shows for 20 people and like cut your
Right.
teeth. You just
Yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because the concept of a bedroom artist, it was foreign for some time, but now it's very much all up in your grill. You can, yeah, I mean, straight up, you can be a bedroom artist, right? Like,
yeah, you can.
and
I
we,
mean, if you have the equipment too, like you
yeah,
could do it all.
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially after the pandemic when everyone bought gear.
Well, look at like even Russ, right? Like I feel like he was another artist that was
Yeah.
like
Shout out Russ.
yeah, blew up on
Yeah.
Spotify, built his fan base. And even The Weeknd, I mean, arguably before
I
DSP,
mean, yeah.
but I remember his first show at he performed at the Mod Club, and it was like his first show
Okay.
ever. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
apparently his stage presence was like not the best because like literally it was his first show. And
I
I'm like,
mean, you gonna
you're
hold that
like,
against them though?
yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how can like, yeah, like, but it's just crazy that your first show is going to be in front of like thousands of people,
Yeah, right.
like right
That's
out
not
the gate.
daunting.
Yeah, it's unusual though. It's like that path has kind of changed, and I feel like that artist development piece and really like building up, the stage presence and like your performance ability is
Mm,
like a whole thing.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, Geneva, answer me this: you're not rapping.
I mean, a little bit here and
the,
there.
the artist that I was introduced to had a very modern sound. We had some boogie, we had some soul. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of like, I hate using the word electronic because of the connotations that always come with that
Oh,
word.
I don't mind. I was like raving as a teenager, so like
Okay,
electronic music,
okay.
like that was
You feel me then? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
my
feel
mom
me?
and dad, Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you one day say, "Oh, you know what? Okay, maybe I don't have bars, but I could blow though."
Oh my gosh. Well, I think like I hate to say that it was like more quote acceptable, but like obviously I'm gonna like recognize my place as like, I'm a white woman in like a
Mm,
black music space.
mm.
So I'm always trying to be mindful of that. Not to say that, white chicks don't have bars, there's a few I can count, a
Facts.
few that I know.
Yes.
That are just like amazing shout outs, Nilla, and there we've got a few Canadian talents. I guess like singing just felt like it was like I was able to do like a little more, you know what I mean? Like and not be so pigeonholed. And even still, like in some songs, I'll have little sections where I'm writing in a more like verse style. I mean, and look at Drake. I mean, he really popularized rap singing, but I don't think he was like the first to ever do it, and obviously not the
No.
last.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's like I try not to pigeonhole myself too much
Okay.
with like the label thing, and that can be to my detriment, right? Because people are like, "What's your genre?" And I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me."
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
That can be sometimes a bit of a minefield. I mean, it's not like it's not possible. You just have to navigate your way through it,
exactly. Yeah,
because I mean, we have to be completely honest about what we're doing. Yes, it is artistry, and yes, it is sharing of creativity, but this is still promoting a product.
100%. And even though
And
like we shy away from that, like framing it that way, you're
I
100%
mean,
right. I mean, it
yeah,
is.
that's the bottom line is this is great. It's great to be heard, but you want to be heard by as many people as possible, because you're sharing. You're reaching deep down inside to share something. You want folks to hear that,
Yeah, facts.
right? There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So when you first came out, around what time? That was like 20.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I feel like for in terms of the timelines, I've been sort of
Uh-huh.
saying like 10 years, but
Okay.
anyone who knows me knows it's been longer than that.
Right.
Um sorry, I'll let you finish your question, but yeah, I guess I've been I kind of almost had like a bit of like a rebirth, you could say. I sent you my discography and you can see like how
Yeah.
different things have been. And
Now
I
you
was
know I'm asking because I was like, yo, there's a discography up
before
in
that I
here.
was on a million collabs. Like if
Okay.
like I used to go by Geneva.b,
Okay.
Geneva
Okay.
B, and more like underground hip hop days. And I was like, I literally am on like underground collabs with like I don't even know how many,
Okay.
like
Okay.
so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them, like, did they get released? I don't know. Are the rappers still alive? I don't know. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like,
I don't know
um,
if they're alive anymore. I'm collecting royalties though.
well, no, because these are like underground songs. I'm like, did they
Exactly.
ever like? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was making any money off them. Like, and oftentimes, like, what I've actually had to try to do lately is like not pay to be on a free collab. Like, I know that's so sad, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
I would like people be like, "Hey, let's jump on a song," and I'm like, "Cool." And then it's like I'm paying for studio time, like I'm paying to be
Mm-hmm.
on your track. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to like have a little more like put a little more value on my craft and be like,
Yeah.
okay, like I have to at least charge you like the studio time I'm paying. You know what I mean? Like that's reasonable, and most
Yeah.
people are obviously amenable to that. And I mean, like, and that's why I need one hit, Jay, because then I can be like, yo, it's 500. You know what I mean? Or like it's a G. Like you can increase your rates once there is a little more demand.
I want to take it a little bit further, and rather than see you with one hit, I want to see you pop off and be consistent
Oh,
and
thank
take
you.
it over a longer period of time because hits die and come back later.
100%. I mean, shout
Right?
out to Adorn, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, like I mean, I always joke that like because a sustainable career, I mean, that would be amazing. But
Hmm.
if you have even one song that gets like, a really big sync placement or you know what I mean, and you're able to me, it's just like funding the rest of the thing. So I might have like a niche
Always the case.
audience, right?
Yeah.
So it, like, maybe I'm like, look at Huapele. I think she's a great example. It's like she can literally tour anywhere in the States and she's going to draw a crowd. And
Hmm.
people, whether or not they just know like her one song or
Yeah.
like they're like a real, like, and Tidra Moses, like, she's another sort of like R&B artist that's
Hmm.
still, she has that. And like, look at Kate Trinata and what the remix did for her career. It kind of like
Yeah.
reignited it. So,
Yeah.
I think that shit's really exciting to see, and
Hmm.
in an industry that's also hella ageist. Also,
Nah, really?
we have to be 22 forever.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, which is also like insane because like that's not how talent works. You know what I mean? Like you only
Exactly.
get better the more experiences you have, the more practice you have, the more stories you have to tell. I just think it's like, we're just marinating out here. So
Yeah.
yeah, shout outs to everyone pursuing their craft and not giving up because it's not an easy slog.
No, it definitely isn't. Now, when when you first started actually writing music, when you first started digging deep and finding these stories that you felt, hey, I kind of want to share this. Was there anything that was, how can I put this? Was there anything that was kind of nagging in the back of your head that, hey, is this the right sound? And the reason I'm asking this because as a developing artist, this is a sentiment that
Mhm.
kind of always comes up. But you ever find those moments where you've got that little nagging, voice on your shoulders, kind of like, hey, this ain't it.
No, cause then it won't make it to that stage. So,
Okay.
a fun thing to share with you is over like I was having some feelings like before COVID hit. I remember being like, man, like why isn't shit happening for me? Like I've been around for like a minute and like
Yeah. Oh man.
so many artists like feel that way, right? Or like I'm not getting
Yeah.
looks. I don't feel like my peers are really like validating me, whatever, right? Because even though it's very like we're always like, oh, you don't need outside validation. I mean, we're music artists. Like I'm
I
literally
mean,
creating
and
for
you're human.
yeah.
I mean,
Like I
right?
want
Like,
people to think it's good.
yeah.
So and then I realized like I can't sit around on my ass complaining if I don't put in the work. And so I was like, I need more songs. And so I went haywire over COVID. I was like working full time on and off, remotely, obviously. But in those gaps, I was like going really hard in the paint. And I have like about 25 demos in the vault right now. So I
Okay.
basically have like I've got releases for days, and now it's just
Hmm.
about like finishing, refining, figuring out like what's going to fit together and the order. So the reason things have been so eccentric in terms of what I've been releasing in terms of the genre jumping around is because they're the outliers. The
Right.
songs that they're like, I'm putting out the tracks that to me like don't fit together on an
Yeah,
album.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
hence like why I have Larry Hooper, which is like a more urban, very like commercial sounding track. Body on Me was like this like electro, like French vibe kind of track. And then it's like, what the hell? Down Bad is like its other thing. So like that's literally my strategy was to just like, because I'm like they're really strong songs, and I didn't want to like not release them, but I knew they wouldn't be right with like a cohesive project. So that's kind of like been the strategy.
Well, I'm gonna jump on that right now, and I'm gonna say big up first of all, because the fact that you said these are all outliers didn't quite fit the project you had in mind. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, yo, there's some range. They showing some range. This is dope. They showing.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile,
I
it's like, nah,
actually
it just
want to
doesn't fit the project,
share
yo.
a sidebar. I will share like a whole folder. I meant to do that beforehand, but I'm just gonna give you like pretty much all of the release. I probably should have done that before the show.
Hey, word,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Nah, but like one thing that I thought was dope is the fact that it's showing range.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Because I was introduced to you as a boogie artist off
Because of
top.
Gil, right? You found me Gil.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's be real, right? So I'm
yeah.
thinking, okay, this is a boogie artist, and then I started. Oh no, no, no! Hold up, hold up, hold up! I just pigeonholed this person. I'm not okay. Let's see what's going on up in here, and then it became obvious. I'm like, okay, range, got it. Don't get me
But
wrong.
also like kind of tough to your point though, like a little because like if you were a show that was like just specifically boogie or whatever, then it's like I'm not like just that. So
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
can be tricky, right? So I appreciate you being flexible because even Gil was like, Gil, don't get mad at me for saying this, but Gil's like a bit of a purist. I don't think it's a surprise in terms of like the sound that he wants to put out on the label, right? Because I was like, Gil, I'm like, oh, like, do you want to release it on your label? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like my shit's just like a little more left leaning or left
Hmm.
leaning, you know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like, and I don't mind that. Like, I want it to kind of push a little bit. And we have this other amazing fucking track in the vaults called Champion Girl that's gonna blow your
Okay.
fucking mind.
Okay. Okay.
Once we get a more final demo, I can't wait to hear what you think about it. But yeah, we've been making some dope shit together. So it's like almost we could just do like our own little like 4-song EP or something almost at this point, right? Like,
You two are definitely in the pocket.
yeah,
You guys are definitely in the pocket, and I was digging that. I'm okay. There's some synergy here. This is dope. I like
yeah.
this, but on top of that,
Oh no,
I
you
like
froze.
the fact that you could now at your behest. All right, I feel like doing that boogie record with Gil. I'm gonna do that now. Oh, you know what? I feel like doing this little more traditional R&B sounding record right here. Oh, you know what? I'm feeling trappy today. You have that. You have that. You have all the tools on your palette. Makes
Thank
you a well-rounded
you.
artist.
Thank you. And
Just
that's a
saying.
good way to that's a good way to think about it because it is a little bit over. I have actually have like two house singles that are like totally they've been done for.
Hey,
I know, and
what?
I'm like, what do I do with these? Like, do I put them
Oh
out, like, or
man.
do I put them out under a different name? I'm like, I'm just kind of actually thinking of what the plan is going to be. So if there's any music managers watching, like, please fucking holler at me because I need some help. But
Are we talking like traditional house, traditional four on the floor, deep house, or
oh my
what are
god,
you thinking?
do you know Ant LaRock?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I mean, he's a producer.
Okay. Okay.
So so they're
I
like
want to hear that. I want to
they're
hear
yeah.
that.
I mean, I can send them to you. Like, I'll
Hell
send
yeah,
you.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, and they're dope. Funny enough, one's called
Okay.
Body, and I'm like, oh my god, I just released a song called Body on Me. Everyone's gonna be like, stop it, you whore. But yeah, no, I'm joking. But yeah, no, they're
Jeez.
bangers, and I'm like, I want to just get them out because I don't want to, when stuff is sitting for too long and it's finished, I'm like, oh, that makes me antsy. Like, I don't want it to sit too
Yeah.
long.
Especially
Yeah.
especially if you made it with the express, intention to release it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's good, I want to put it out. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
if I think it's a vibe, then why not? You know what I mean? And I mean, from a strategic standpoint, that's why you have to kind of think like I hate to be doing shit for the algorithms in terms of Spotify, but they really reward consistency. So like,
Yeah.
like I've heard this from my distributor and he was just like, yeah, like, if you're putting out a track like every 4 to 6 weeks, it like it shows that you're like, it's like you keep stoking the fire, right? And it just gives your sound like a little more chance to reach more people. So
Geneva, I'm really glad you brought that up. We all hate the algorithm.
yeah,
I think it's fair to say I don't know anyone that likes the damn algorithm on any social media
I know
platform.
it's all kind of like trash, right? At the end of the day.
But it's that necessary evil that you would be foolish not to pay attention to, because you can use that and you can use the analytics
Hmm.
to, have a gauge, right? Like it's nice to have that metric.
And none of it
I
is rocket science, right? Like it's all
No,
kind of logical shit. It's looking at,
yeah,
like, if we're talking about Spotify algorithms
yeah.
specifically, just to drop some game, it's like there's I forget how many, but there's like rumored to be like literally like very many little metrics that are like that demonstrate affinity or like not,
Yep.
right? So how much you listen to the song, hearting it, adding it to the playlist are the obvious ones, but then
Oh
it's like
my god,
also
yes.
assessing like what else is in the playlist, like
Yep.
who are you as a user, like
Yep.
there's just like so many ways they're breaking down the data. So I think the biggest thing right now is attention, right? It's something that we all have a finite amount of.
Yep.
And literally every channel just wants their user to stay on it longer. People make the mistake of thinking Spotify is a music platform. It is a company, okay?
It's a
It's
social
a
media
tech,
platform, y'all.
it's a tech, yeah, it's a fucking tech company. I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Let's be real.
so they want to make money. They want their
Yep.
users to stay on the platform as long as
Yeah.
possible. So if you're a music artist and you can drive people to your Spotify, then yeah, they're gonna be like, check,
Yep.
yeah,
And let's be honest. I mean, you can use the metrics. You know what I mean?
100%.
You can throw it. You can throw it in EPK. Hey, look at this. Turns out I got a million streams because I'm
Oh,
that dope.
waiting
That's
for
all.
that.
I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like you've
Yeah,
got, but you're able
I
to
mean
say
they
that.
expect you to, like,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
like
sad, and I know the purist in Gail feels me on this one. It is incredibly annoying because we're all subject to it. This platform is subject to it. I pay attention.
right,
I have to pay attention to analytics.
yeah,
I'd be crazy not to,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
like just it, what I mean, if you really don't care, then fine.
Well, if you're like
Don't pay attention
Beyonce, you
to it.
don't need to pay attention, right? Like I think
Yeah,
like, once you have that built-in fan base, that and a lot of times like it's built with the major label dollars and
yeah,
connections, right? Like it's
yeah.
for indie artists to be competing. But then we have examples of, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like how can you innovate? Obviously documenting your process and the video. Like for the streamers and stuff, like video is freaking huge. Like I love,
Oh
like, look at the
man.
count. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he really used video to his advantage to show his process. And he almost like, I know there was other producers doing what he was doing, but I don't feel like their editing was like how he's editing. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
yo, we got to salute the count, man, because he
Yeah.
was dropping mad footy and it was dope footy.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he's just
for
like,
sure.
now he's like, I know he's like, he just keeps working with like bigger and bigger names and stuff. So it's opened a lot of doors. So shout out, Cole. Yeah.
One thing I'm curious about is how did the working relationship with Gil come to fruition?
Oh gosh, I actually feel like we were chatting about this the other day. We're like, how did we meet each other? Because it's been like we've definitely known each other for over 10 years.
Right. Did you
Um,
know each other outside of music before that?
no, I
Okay.
lived in Vancouver.
Oh,
Like, so I
look
grew
at
up in
you. Okay.
Hamilton. I moved to Vancouver,
Okay.
and then I came back to Toronto. And I feel like around that time,
Whoop whoop.
yeah, we must have just met. Like, I feel like we just met out and about.
Yeah.
Like, it was so I feel like I must have known him before he met his wife.
Okay.
But like just through like mutual music friends, and we'd see each other around. And I think the first like song that he actually like remixed was the Circle Research
Right.
remix of
Yes.
right, was that right? No, there was something else too. Oh, there's another one. Hold on.
The
What
Smoke
song
and
was that?
Mirrors.
No, but it was before that.
Oh, before Smoke and Mirrors. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out that Smoke and Mirrors Circle Research
Yeah, you
remix.
like that one,
It's
hey?
dope.
It's a
Yeah,
cool
it's
one.
dope.
Like
Yeah.
Water. So I released an
Okay.
EP. I released an EP in 2016.
Okay.
And then they remixed that song. And that's like it was one of my highest played songs for a long time, and it's
Nice.
always like the shit you don't like expect, but that one got
Right?
playlisted and like yeah,
That's kind of wild, right? When you look at,
yeah,
okay, I know we're going back to content again, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's kind of funny when you look at your shit, right? And you're like, oh, for real?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're like not necessarily the
That?
one that you would
Okay.
think would catch it, and like I
Yeah.
heard that from many artists, right? And so that's why you almost have to be like
Yeah.
a bit like detached from your work in that
You
way. Like,
do. Oh my God. You have to detach.
yes, it's a
You
hard one.
really
It's
do.
very like Buddha vibes, but like
Yeah.
it's
But it's
yeah,
hard to do that, right?
it is
But you
because
do have
you have
to.
your opinion on like what
Yep.
you think is the best shit, and you're like,
Yep.
this is my best song, this is a
Yep.
hit. I want everyone to fucking like hear this, and it's
Hmm.
like that's not the one that people gravitate to, or yeah.
Exactly. And if they're gravitating to something particular, you want to know so you can capitalize on it.
I guess, but I'm like at this. I'm so like I don't know. I'm
She's
so
like,
like
no, I'm
moving on
done.
to the next shit.
That's in my
Yeah,
rear view.
like
What are you talking about?
if I could focus on music full time and like be doing more like you know what I
Mm,
mean. But it's like I'm
yeah.
busy. I'm trying to make money to fund my next shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like
The artist life.
yeah. I don't
Yep.
always have the I mean free time is a blessing. If you're paying your
Oh, yeah.
rent, food
Oh,
in your
God.
fridge, like and you have free time, like bless. You know what I mean?
And, a part of the reason why we do this as well is so that people see the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they look at music and they think about music in a certain way. And I know a lot of us are a lot more passionate about music, and that's fine. You are going to have those of us that are, just straight up into music. And you're going to have people who just kind of like, yeah, I dig it. You know what I mean?
Window shoppers.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
but those are the people that you really, you don't need to convince the choir, right?
Yes,
It's those people
it's
that
true.
you're trying to hit.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Because it's
Yep.
like the music. It's actually funny because like I feel like I'm like an artist. It's like I have a lot of like I feel like most of my support comes from like other artists and
Oh
like
yeah.
music
Oh yeah.
heads because they get
Hmm.
the vibe. But then it's like how the fuck do you grow like that wider fan base of like the casual listeners, right? The
Yep.
people who are just happy to turn on the radio and hear whatever and be like,
Exactly.
I'm trying to get
That
on the radio.
that's it right there. Because
Yeah.
I know personally, I would like to see every artist I know in a space where they can do that. They can, they know who their choir is, but they're able to still reach outside, outside the doors and say, "Oh, yo." At the same time, hey, you, come over here. Check this out. Yo, check this out. Yeah, yeah. I
How
know
do
you're
we reach
digging it.
them, Jay?
Right?
How do we get them though? I
Oh,
think
we do stuff like this.
that's the yeah.
Try to make it pop. We try to let as many people know as possible, and just keep shouting at the top of the mountain.
Aw, that's
That's
great. You're doing the music god's work. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, it's really easy to promote dope shit.
Aw. Air
Do you
horn,
have
air
any?
horn, air horn.
Yo, do you have any visuals out right now?
Okay, so I know we by the way, listeners, I told Jade to time this interview for now because I was like, I should know when the video is coming out. There is a video for Down Bad. It is
Hmm.
just being finished. The editing is just being finalized. I want it to be done before, and then I'll probably give it like a week. I'm really hoping I'm going to drop this baby before the end of the summer because it is a summer
Yes.
jam. The video is very
Yeah.
summer.
Oh my.
We're still getting like it's like hot as fuck out right now in
Yep.
Toronto. It's like I don't know what happened, but it's been like we've had some really shitty weather, and then all of a sudden it's like deciding now is the time to summer. So yeah, so I'm like, okay, let's ride this out. But I'm hoping
Yeah.
it will be coming out within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think in my humble opinion, I think it would be very in your advantageous isms to
Mhm.
drop that clip before the summer's over because this
Oh, we
is a
need
summer
to.
joint.
Yeah.
This is a summer joint, and the thing is, it's not like you can't cross over into the fall, but this is
No,
straight up summer
and
joint.
I think that song, speaking of just like timing and release strategy, it was really interesting to me because Down Bad, I released it in like late June and I like June 21st, I think it came out. And it was interesting because Body on Me, I dropped it like more mid-April and I felt like I had a lot more attention. And I think
Okay.
by June, people are checking out the summer vacation and
Yeah.
like just a lot going on. So I was like, interesting. So I feel like the song does deserve a second push. And I think the video will allow for like this like second opportunity to like reach out to the blog. Like not that there's music blogs really left in 2023, but
Reach out to the podcast.
Yeah, right.
The
Like it's
podcast.
interesting how it keeps like evolving because you're right. Now it is like the podcast and the
Yeah.
live streams, and like for me, like DJs are my like if DJs
Yes.
like my
Oh my
song, like
God.
that's who I make. Like I want the DJs to vibe with my shit. Like that is the main. That's to me a determinant of whether the song is good.
Could we just touch on that real quick? Like
Sure.
we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I really cannot stress artists. If DJs dig your shit, they're gonna play your shit.
Mm-hmm.
If DJs dig your shit, but they don't have your shit because you don't hook up DJ packs, I
Yes,
can't help you, homie.
yes.
I'm just saying. And it may be a little archaic because the streaming model is front and center now, but you can't sleep on the DJs, man. If the DJs champion your shit, they not only will they champion your shit, they'll talk about your shit.
Yeah, and I
And if
think
you've got a
like
lot of DJs talking about your shit,
I want to know, in your opinion, okay, what should go in the DJ pack? Because I've created a few different varieties. So, like, now I want to hear from you. Like, what do you think are like the files that need to be in there?
well, with stems now, I feel like providing acapellas isn't so
The
much a thing
acapella. Yeah.
anymore because of stems. But if someone hears your shit, artists, please, if someone hears your shit and they think they can do something with it, but there's no acapella, they ain't doing shit with your stuff.
Right.
So
Yes.
put that acapella in there for sure, because one day someone is gonna hear it, really get down with it, play the shit out of it, realize, oh man, this would be a really good house remix.
And they can drop
Remix it, and then start playing it out and dropping it.
Yeah.
But they won't do it if they don't have an acapella, because
Right.
stems does separate it, but it's not the best
It's not
quality.
perfect. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the acapella is straight. So as long
Yeah.
as you've got your vocal, your clean edit, please,
Yeah.
obviously.
The clean edit. Yeah.
Better, even if there's no uncensored, as long as there's a clean edit and your instrumental, as long as you have those three. Artists, please provide that. Artists, please provide that. If you're not,
Yeah.
I can't stress. If you're not artists, if you're not providing DJs with your packs,
How are
don't
they
ask
supposed to
why.
play you?
Don't ask why people don't know.
Well, because it's like anything else, and the same goes for like press, right? It's almost like that's why they tell
Yes.
you, like have your little quote, like your little write up, because people are busy, and like the more you can just like take work off their plate, it's like anyone else, right? Like either it's like giving me a dinner that's already made, or being like, here's all the shit to make it. Now you go do it. It's like, which one are you gonna eat faster, right? Like,
And you bring up a great point, and I'm going to speak on behalf of media. We listen to a lot of shit.
yeah,
We get a lot of emails.
yes,
Okay. You will open up that inbox. You're not reading everything in that email.
right.
It's like, you're doing this.
Yeah. How do
It's
you
like,
choose the ones to open then? That's a great segue to ask you that.
okay, on the
Yeah.
real, who it
Yeah.
came from. Because if I'm used to getting dope shit from them, they're probably going to keep sending dope
Yeah,
shit.
they're
So
like
who
you
it came from.
recognize who you recognize you're gonna open
Exactly.
first. They're gonna be priority. Yeah.
Have they been on the show before?
Aw.
because once you've been in the podcast, it's open door policy after that.
Oh, I love that.
Every time we have people come back all the time to promote the new shit. Okay, what's the new shit? Okay, what's the next show? So that, and basically, just keep in mind, I think the most important thing is time.
Mm-hmm.
As an artist, you know how much time you have in a day. Keep in mind that media, I mean, we have families, we have lives, and we do this, a lot of us are doing this on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of time to spend in an inbox.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it coming from someone that's already been sending dope shit? Is it someone I'm familiar with? Is it someone that I saw on social media because their social media game is tight?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest, some artists' social media game is just not.
It's lacking.
And I'll be honest, it doesn't help me want to pay attention to what's going on.
Of course.
If your social media game is tight, I mean, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we got to get them on the podcast.
And does that just mean like being active and like the quality of the content they're posting? Yeah, the quality. Yeah.
you could post every day, all day, but if the
If
quality
it's
is,
spotty. Yeah.
then you might just get muted. I'm sorry.
I'm a less is more girl. Like I'd much rather like post less and make it like good
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
the other way around.
Quality,
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah.
Because in today's game, there are a lot of artists that are doing it all,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They've got their promo game down. They've got their art game down.
Yeah.
They've got their music game down.
It's
So
so
you,
much, yo. So much to
yeah,
keep
there's
like,
so
in
much
the
out
air.
there, and everyone's fighting for time.
Yep.
It's all about how you get heard. Hell yeah.
Hey, all right.
And
Yeah.
Geneva, I'm so glad that I got down with this vibe, because this is definitely not gonna be the last time in the lounge space for Geneva.
Oh,
We
yeah. I would
definitely
love
gonna
to
get
be
you back
back.
up in
You're a
here.
delight. I feel like we could chat all day about this
We
stuff.
definitely could. We definitely
Yeah.
could. Now the new single is
Mhm.
Down Bad, featuring. We should shout out your
Bossy
feature.
Azul. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Bossy, he's a fun story too. He's originally from Maryland, I believe. He's from the
Okay. Okay.
States, and I feel like he's only been in Toronto a few years. We met through, how did we meet? Through music TV.
Of course.
And of course. And I remember just hearing him and being like, I really like that he was also very, I don't know if you've had a chance to check out his sort of solo stuff, but he's also very like genre agnostic. Like
Okay,
he's
okay.
kind of like has a track that's like, sort of like more Afro beats and then like, some
Okay.
house.
Well, I'm definitely gonna pay attention.
Yeah,
Now that
he's
you've
like,
mentioned that, yeah, I'm definitely gonna.
he's
gonna look it up.
different. And then on my track, I feel like it was just like what he did was just perfect. And it's so unique. And that's what
Yeah.
makes the song special to me, is that you have this really classic, nostalgic vibe. However, there's also this very like modern, like forward thinking energy to the track. So that's what makes Down Bad special, I think.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Damn good joint. Damn good joint.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully
The
Gil's
vision-
watching. Shout out Gil, because that song went
Hell
up.
yeah. Salute, Gil.
Yeah, so
Love
good.
Touch represents that. Down Bad is the joint. It's out. The visual should be out hopefully before this summer. Is
within the
done
next
with.
couple of weeks, I promise. You can hold me
Keep
to
your
that.
eyes, yeah, keep your eyes open for that. Let people know your socials so they can seek you out.
Sure. It's Geneva Baby, ITSGENEVABABY on
Yes, sir.
Instagram. And
Yes,
I do
sir.
have a Twitch. I resurrected, I popped in to be like, what's my shit? So I'll share you the link. I'm not very active, but you know what? I should be streaming more. You're inspiring me, because I think it's a great way to like actually meet people and interact with, music heads, and I love
Yeah.
yeah.
No, actually, we started on Instagram Live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because this podcast started during the pandemic. Surprise, surprise.
Oh,
I mean, I have a journalism background, but
I love that.
we were
That's
all locked up,
great.
y'all.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I
this,
love
this is a
that.
pandemic baby, and it started Instagram Live. But once Twitch became a thing, I mean, we had to jump over.
And it because you can kind of like so StreamYard is basically, are you just using this to record and you're pushing it out through Twitch, or like, not to get too techie near the end
Now
here?
this is basically the hub that pushes
Okay.
out to Twitch or to any other platforms should you choose.
Oh, very cool.
We were thinking about going multi-platform, but I was like, that's just not realistic.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
build the fan base. And are you on
Yeah.
Discord? Do you guys have like an associated Discord?
Yeah, but I can't front. The Discord is kind of more like a
Well,
it's like the group chat now.
It's a lot of energy to keep it up. Like I can't print. Like because I feel my thing is like any type of community building, you have to be there, and it takes active moderation and engagement. So
yeah, I can't front.
Yeah.
Discord has become the homie group chat.
I mean, I'll jump in there just for fun, because I love a group chat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Geneva, thank you again for spending some time with us in the lounge space today. We look forward to having you back again. Do you have any shows coming up?
Funny enough, I just did a bunch in August.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
It was really crazy. It was a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I do not have anything booked right now, but
No
the next thing I'm gonna do is most likely drop those house singles. So I'm gonna be in touch with you about that.
Yes, I really look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and send you the video once it's ready to go. And
Hell
then
yeah.
I want to send you a demo of Champion Girl, because I'm really excited to get your feedback
Please do.
on that.
Yes, please do. This is it, y'all. This is Geneva. Geneva, baby, in the place to be. First time in the lounge space, but not the last. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Run her up on streams. Run her up on streams and follow her on social.
Thank you. Yeah, do that. So boss.
Hell yeah. Geneva, enjoy the rest of your long weekend.
Thanks, you too, Jay.
All right, Beezy.
Take care. Bye.
Peace.